To begin with, we can't talk about Tyranids without talking about synapse. The synapse is the connection to the hive mind. Synapse creatures are controlled, or rather held in check, by this connection. Without it, they are just hungry animals. I was told by one person that Creed, in fact, had a Tyranid as a pet. They tend to adapt to weapons used against them, making them obsolete. It's like using an antibiotic against bacteria. If you don't wipe out all of the bacteria, you invite the stronger bacteria that survive to adapt to the antibiotic, rendering it less useful for future use. That's your daily science nugget. The Tyranids travel in an interesting way. They bypass the warp through use of gravity tunnels. This causes natural disasters before they arrive and creates a shadow in the warp that blocks the Astronomicon and astropath communication, which I feel is a very tasty plot point. Each hive fleet has a queen and a different purpose as far as we can discern. Hive Fleet Hydra eats other hive fleets. That's not creepy at all. Hive Fleet Kronos seems to have been built specifically to fight chaos, and will in fact ignore other organic material if chaos is present. Hive Fleet Tiamat, for unknown purposes, has been building massive structures that behave like blackstone pylons, and they pretty much leave people alone. This fleshed Astronomicon, as some call it, is the only thing that the Nids have bothered to defend. Is it a beacon? A portal? Nobody knows. In one of my previous videos, I touched on the idea that the Tyranids are fleeing something. That's a fan favorite theory, but the lore actually suggests that they were called to our galaxy by the destruction of Pharos, which we discussed in the Necron video. Touching on the name, I've been told that instead of Tyranids, we should be calling them Tyranids, after the fall of Tyran, where they were first encountered. Which, an interesting fact about that is that the Ordo Xenos knew about them thousands of years before Tyran. What else is the Inquisition not telling us about? There's a really cool story about the Nids. There was a world called Shadowbrink. It was a cardinal world where the Grey Knights were protecting a warp relic from the Dark Age of Tech. The Nids came and killed everyone, which was enough to wake the relic, and 4 greater daemons came out of it. They were called the Quadrifold Abomination, and included a Great Unclean One, a Bloodthirster, a Lord of Change, and a Keeper of Secrets. All 4 of the Chaos powers were represented. The battle raged for a really long time before some zoanthropes killed the Great Unclean One and the others retreated, meaning that the Tyranids actually had a very decisive victory over chaos. Interesting. I'm told that gene stealers used to be their own faction, and they could fall to chaos. There is an example of Nurgle gene stealers on a Space Hulk ship. The Zoats were lizardman centaurs from the old fluff that used to herald the arrival of gene stealers. We don't really see much of those anymore. The last interesting tidbit that I have for you today is that the Catachan Devil and the Kraken on Fenris may actually be Tyranids, which would mean that they have infiltrated farther than we give them credit for. Whether you like the space bugs or want to destroy them all in the Emperor's name, you cannot deny that they have some really cool sculpts and are really fun to paint. Thank you for sitting with me through this Exploring Vicariously, the community-sourced lore series where all the facts that I give you have been gleaned from my exposure to the community. If you'd like to help out with this, you can find my research posts in the Warhammer 40k Fans Facebook group linked below in the description. Today my gratitude is my almost 12-year-old daughter, who's a Nid player, and whose gleeful cackles every time she gets to eat another model bring joy to my heart. If you'd like to help me out, it'd be really awesome if you could subscribe, like the video, and comment on what you'd like to hear about next. And don't forget to live, laugh, lore.